Hello guys, how are you doing? I hope you can have fun today testing our boards. I'm sorry that I cannot be there with you guys. Unfortunately, I'm locked here in Riyadh. I'm probably gonna go back to Dubai once the borders are open again. That might be in 1 month, who knows? But anyways, I'm enjoying the city, everything is good here. Yes, I told you, unfortunately, I cannot be there today with you, but I decided to record this video just to talk a little bit about the product and go through all the qualities, the things, how to take care, maintenance, and everything to explain a little bit further about Mako, okay? Uh, I've been jet surfing, jet boarding for lots of years. I have tested, I have bought almost every single brand that are available in the market nowadays. You name it. I think I started with a jet surf, then I switched. I still have pretty much all these boards, but I end up using just Mako. And I'll go through the product and I'll explain why, okay? So Mako is a British brand, is fully made in the UK, designed in the UK. As you can see, the shape of Mako is totally different than any other brand. Nowadays, we find a lot of brands in Korea, in China, in the US. They pretty much all of them, they just copy whatever Jet Surf did, but with some difference, okay? Mako took the other way. They decided to build their own board. Mako owner, his name is Jailo. He owns several industries. One of them is the Parajet. Parajet's the #1 in the world company that produce those fans, those turbines that you put on as a backpack and then you glide, you know, like those paragliders. So he used all this technology that he had on his factory. He also does a lot of things for the military in the US. So he used all this technology to build the board. It took him like around 2 years to design this board. He put a lot of effort on the shape, on the design of the shape. I'm gonna talk a little bit now about the shape and what's the difference, okay? If you see, let me get a picture here of the board. If you see, this part of the board is a little bit narrower than our competitor Jet Surf. And this was made through like a design computation through computers, you know, simulations. So they simulate how people surf and how people enjoy. And they found out that this shape was the best one for waves and also for racing. Is like a shape that balances all type of waters. You know, if it's too wide, you won't have as much fun as on the wave. If it's too thin, then you won't be able to race. So it's something in between. It's really good. They spend a lot of time designing the tail, which you see it's a V-tail that gives more stability to this board. It gives more balancing, and it helps a lot to go rail to rail. What is rail to rail? Rail when you go to the right and left very fast. When you compare to jet surf, for example, this part, the sides, you know, you'll see that Mako is a little bit sharper. Jet surf is a little bit rounded. So the intention for this was to do tricks. That changed a lot the behavior of the board on the water. If it's too rounded as jet surf, you cannot go right and left super fast, but with Mako you can. You're gonna find out, if you have some experience with jet boarding, that Mako is a little bit harder than the other brands in the beginning to balance and to stand, but this might take you a couple of days training and you'll be able to do everything. Okay, Mako is a 90cc engine. Okay, it has 8.5 horsepower. It goes up to 50 kilometers per hour. Of course, this is 50, it's without the rider, so it depends on the weight. I weigh around 75 kilos. I'm riding this board around 45 kilometers per hour. If you compare to the Jet Surf, which I also have, Jet Surf, they claim 55 per hour without the rider. but with the rider I'm not getting more than 46, 47. So in comparison on top speed is about the same. It reached the top speed in about 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds, so it's the same as jet surf. Another thing, Mako works with carburetor as opposed to the digital or economic fuel injection. Okay, and this is a good point. Mako started with the digital fuel injection, the DFI system, but they found out that the system, this technology is not ready to hit the water so far. As you can see on jet surf, you have a lot of problem with this system. For example, myself, my jet surf now is stopped for more than 6 months because of this. It got damaged, it's not working anymore, and I don't find spare parts. So Mako decided to go to the carburetor. So they redesigned the carburetor in Italy. The carburetor is the only part that's manufactured outside UK, which is in Italy. And you guys probably know the Italians, they have the best carburetors. So it's an aviation carburetor. It's extremely reliable and extremely good. I've been surfing with Mako for almost 2 years. I never had a single issue with carburetor. Of course, if you get water inside, you might need to stop, but it's just a matter of removing the water out of the engine, out of the carb, and you are good to go. It won't take you more than 5 minutes to do this. So it is a very reliable board. Mako doesn't rely a lot on electronics to run the board, and this is a really good point. Okay, Mako relies on the mechanics of the board. So when you look at the engine and you look at the compartment, you'll see there's a lot of empty space that on the other brands, they use this space to put the electronics. The electronics, when they work well, they're good. But we know that if they have any problems with the electronics, then you are screwed for like months sometimes. Depends on the manufacturer or to give you the spare parts. So Mako remove all the hassles that we can have with the electronics and put them on the mechanics. And the mechanics, there's no problem, you know. So another good thing on Mako, if you look inside the engine compartment, let me get a picture here for you. In this area, okay, you will see that there's an extra layer of carbon fiber around that protects the engine. So the engine is not open to the entire hull. So the hull has 2 layers, 1 layer on the bottom and 1 layer on the top that protects the engine. This gap, this buffer between these 2 layers is where the water stays once it comes through the nozzle. I'll compare to jet surf. Jet surf has the engine totally exposed. So any water that comes inside the board tends to go directly to the engine and tends to cause malfunction and stop the board. For Mako to get water inside this compartment, you need to drown completely the board. So it's almost impossible. You're always gonna get a little bit, but this is normal, but nothing that will stop the board. What might cause the board to stop is not the engine flooded, but the hull is flooded. In the beginning, when you were learning how to use Mako and how to jet board, it's normal to get water inside the hull. But in Mako, you'll get in between these 2 layers. And because it will be full of water, the gases from the engine won't be able to go out of the hull and the board will stop. You just need to come back to the beach, tilt the board, remove the water through the nozzle. The nozzle is this part right here. So basically you just take your board, tilt it, the water will come out of the nozzle and the board will work again. It might stop, as I told you before, because the combustion gases will stay inside the hull and they cannot go out, and they need to go out. The engine needs to breathe for the board to work. It's different than jet surf. Once you get the water in, it goes inside the engine, and then once inside the engine, especially us that are riding on salt conditions, will damage the engine really soon, will damage the electronics and everything. In case you get water inside the engine But as I told you, you need to flood the entire board before to get water there. The only thing you need to do, you take the board outside the water, remove the water, just remove the spark plug, turn the engine a couple of times just to release all the water that's inside the engine, put the spark plug back again, and you're ready to go. So it's simple, it's very, very simple, the use. Mako has another good features. One of the things is that you'll find the foot straps on both sides. So that means if you have friends, if you have your family, anyone that wants to ride with you, doesn't matter if it's right or left, they'll be able to do it. In my case, for example, I'm the only one riding my board, so I just remove the other side. It's just some screws you remove, and then you can ride as well. You remove the foot straps that you are not using. Mako has also something very interesting, which is the battery, the plug-and-play battery, as you can see in this image here. So all our competitors, once you need to recharge your board and the battery, you need to recharge for the start motor and the computer. So every time you need to do that, you need to take the board inside your house or find an outlet and plug the board to this outlet. Mako has like this small battery that you just remove and take with you and plug everywhere. From my experience, this battery is lasting around 2 days of fun in the water. That means around 5-6 hours, 7 hours of riding. So let's say one day is 2-3 hours, the other day 2-3 hours, it lasts. So it's very, very reliable. It takes around 3-4 hours to fully recharge and you are ready to go. It's a small pack. So this is really, really good. We know that the batteries over time, they tend to die, okay? So Mako, just buy again this battery pack, which is very cheap, and you're ready to go. As comparison to Jet Surf, I had this problem before with Jet Surf where my batteries died and I had to buy the completely ICU again, because it's inside the ICU. So I spent, I think, around $500-600 for that. Mako, you'll never have this problem. Other very interesting feature on Mako is the fins, okay, which Jet Surf just copy. So Mako has the fins that is a plug and play system. You know, you just need to put it there, remove, and you're ready to go. It takes probably 3 minutes to put all the things, less than that. Just plug and go, you know, it's not a big issue. You don't have any screws, anything besides the middle thing that you have a bigger screw that goes on the back. That's the only thing. So it's super simple. In terms of maintenance, as long as you take care well of your board, you won't have any problem. I have clients everywhere, never had any issue with them. Of course, they all take care. So what I mean, what they can taking care, once you are out of the water, once your day is over, you just need to put a little bit of fresh water on the engine, clean everything. It comes with a small plug where you can plug the holes, and then this engine, the water can flush the engine as well. Just need to spray a little bit of WD through the carburetor, turn the engine like a few times so that the oil goes inside, and you clean and you're ready to go. So it's super simple, you know, 5 minutes, you are with your board completely clean. In terms of services and everything, so I have a really good relationship with Mako. I'm even developing the engine and the piston and a lot of components for the new boards, which will come probably the next year or in 2 years. We still don't know, we're still developing. So I have all the spare parts, everything that you need with me here in Dubai. We also are closing dealerships with people in Kuwait, Qatar, we have Israel. We're probably gonna do something with someone in Saudi, but that's not so for sure yet. We're still negotiating. Qatar, Kuwait, Israel, Saudi, and the Emirates. Spare parts, if you need anything, You just send me an email, give me a call anytime, and the parts will be to you as soon as possible. We have a good stock in Dubai, so we're not having problems with this. Usually I tell my clients just to buy few spare parts just to have with them, just in case something happen on the beach, but this is not a spare parts that will get damaged. It's things like spark plugs, maybe an extra battery, a couple of seals and holes, not many things. And I also suggest to get a start motor always. In the beginning, people tend to start the board like several times, like let's say 5, 6, 10 times in 1 minute, and this might cause the start engine to burn. This is not just on Mako, this is also on Jet Surf, on every single board. So I suggest all my clients that are starting to get a spare starter engine with them to avoid any problem. Another thing that you need to watch out is if for any reason the board stop in the beginning, stop in the water, don't force the engine, don't keep trying to start. Just bring outside and we'll solve the problem outside. This is common, but please do not try to start force the engine. If it's not starting, there's almost 100% of the chance that's nothing serious. It's just maybe water that came inside the engine in the beginning, maybe there's something else, but as long as you don't force, you won't have any problem. Everything is super easy to fix, and the maintenance is easy. As I told you, you'll need probably 2-3 months of surfing and going through all these issues, and then you're gonna learn and everything will be fine. As I told you, when I started surfing with Mako, I already had some good experience with jet boarding, so I never had any issues. And I'm always here to help. My company is always here to supply the spare parts and everything that you need. We have also Duceja as our partner. They have the workshop if you need anything. We suggest a general maintenance every 50 hours. Even if you bring your board to Saudi, we can do it here. We're gonna find it. We are working with someone. We're closing the contract now. This guy will be based in Jeddah. Or you can always talk with us and we can tell you what you need to do if you cannot send your board back to any workshop. But this is not a big issue as well. Usually when people take care well of the board, everything should be working fine and properly. Okay, I think I covered the most important things, most important issues with the board. I hope Ray and my wife Claudia and Claristone that will be teaching you can answer everything. If you have any question, please just ask Raymondo to give me a call during your session, and I'll be there to help you guys. Okay, yes, I hope you guys enjoy, have fun, have some good time. I hope you become part of our family, our Mako family, which is growing. We are selling boards a lot in the region. We see at this moment a good opportunity for Mako here because all the problems that our competitors are having, either they are not supplying spare parts, their products are not so reliable. So that's it. As I told you before, Mako went back to the basics of the board and the basics that work. So I think that's the good thing about Mako, and the shape, which has been designed over hundreds of hours. It was something that they really took it serious. So you'll notice, probably not the first day, but once you start riding the board, you're gonna feel the difference. Once you start doing the tricks, when you start jumping and carving, so you will notice the difference. Okay, and there's one more thing that's it's coming now. As I told you, we are developing the new engines and new pistons and everything. We are improving Mako. We are working together with the factory, and soon we'll be providing here in Dubai a new exhaust, a racing exhaust, and a new piston that will be manufactured here in Dubai. And this will give you around 5-6 extra horsepower on your boards. Basically what we are doing, we are taking the stock board of Mako and will become almost like the titanium of jet surf, you know. It's the same type of upgrades, and everything will be done here in Dubai, close to you guys, and will be much cheaper than jet surf. Last thing in terms of costs, I really believe that Mako has a really interesting price at this moment as compared to the competitors. You know, we are around 25-30% less, and this is not because the difference in quality, because the quality is great, but it's because Jailo, the owner of Mako, has several industries, as I told you before, and he was able to use a lot of technologies and a lot of equipment, a lot of tools that they use on other products in the board as well. And it is a big company, so that reduced the cost a lot. So Mako is coming with a really good price to the market at this moment. Okay, long video, but unfortunately I cannot be there. As I told you, I'm here in Riyadh, but I hope to meet you guys soon and surf together and have some fun. Enjoy. If you have any question, just let me know. Thank you.